I thought I'd add that it might be a good idea to take copper when taking at least silver, if not also with gold. In other words, it's kind of like a pyramid in which the base metal, the base numismatic metal of copper is more important than silver. Or else it's the other way around. The middle of the three numismatic metals, coinage metals, the silver is more important than the two extremes of the base metal of copper and the very highly refined metal of gold. I think it has to do with consciousness. And I think that's why silver actually is more important, because we all need to get involved with the body in order to make sure we pay attention to the body so that we can continue to have a body to live in. And so that's why I think silver is useful, because silver, the silver beam, as Charlie Lutz would talk about it, connects the soul with the body at the heart. And so our connection to the body that our soul has with the body is kind of important because it keeps us here, keeps us alive. So I think it's the middle one that's the most important. And then in my case, I'm noticing I need a little bit of the fringe on either side, both below silver, more base than silver, such as copper, but also more above it, which is gold. Because gold raises consciousness ahead. You know, it moves you ahead. That's why it's an antidepressant, because it gives you a vista of what you could be, while silver just keeps things, going. And copper is some kind of a stabilizing influence. That's what I suspect. It's a very, they use it in Ayurveda. They'll have you drink water in a copper cup that's been sitting in a copper cup all night long, or they'll have you cook or boil milk in a copper pot. They're big pushers of copper, but they don't push the silver and the gold so much. I don't know why. I really don't know why, because all three are vitally important. It's just a question of to what degree do we consume them. Now, unlike silver and gold, unlike copper, I should say, silver and gold are not chelated. You can't buy them in the health food store, like chelated mineral, or in this case, a transitional metal. We can get chelated iron, you can get chelated zinc and copper, vanadium, all kinds of metals, but not silver or gold. And I suspect it's just the market doesn't see a demand for it, the suppliers don't see a demand for it, and the consumers don't see a need for it. So it's a self-fulfilling ignorance of non-commercialization. But maybe, one of these days, awareness will pick up, and the relevant importance of silver and gold will pick up along with it, and maybe we'll find chelated silver and chelated gold in our lifetime, before I die, on the shelf that we can buy. In the meantime, I have to make do with the most efficient way possible and not too costly, and it looks like gold leaf and silver leaf is very efficient at getting the job done, and stuffing each leaf into a capsule, a veggie capsule. And by the way, it's not double O size capsules, because those are much bigger. It's a single O size veggie capsule, because they have gelatin capsules that are available at my local health food store that are both single O and double O, but I don't want gelatin, so in order to use veggie, there's only one size, and that's single O. I went today and got some more. But I also went today to get some copper, and because I realized, wait a second, I don't have to get copper leaf, not when there's chelated copper available. So I looked over the various varieties. There were only a couple. And I gravitated and bought the one that had zinc combined with it, because I remember reading a long time ago that you have to combine, or you have to balance copper with zinc. And if you're going to take supplementation of one, you really need to take supplementation of both. And that might be why I never really liked the taking of zinc, even though zinc is supposed to be good for schizophrenics or people with, what's the other one? Autism. And there's a third one that can respond to zinc. Oh, I forget the name of it. Yeah, it's a funny name that starts with P. Anyway, I did a video or whatnot. I used to have it on my website on the front page, but I think I took it down because I wasn't interested in pushing that anymore. I don't know. It might still be there. Anyway, vinyasi.info. I used to have it there. But I know I have the video. 1 in 4 schizophrenics are really suffering from zinc depravity or malabsorption or something like that. It's in one of my channels. It's in there somewhere. But I never really considered the need, because I've taken copper in the past and I didn't like it. And I thought, well, maybe my liver can't handle it. And it may be true. But I didn't know about potassium iodide at the time to help stir the metabolic rate, accelerate the metabolic rate of the liver, and help me get over ammonia, get rid of ammonia and convert it into urea. So I really shouldn't have a concern anymore, and I don't think I do have any reason to have a concern anymore. So I bought one with both copper and zinc, and it's chelated, and I'm going to be taking that now and see what kind of influence it has. It feels okay. It feels pretty good. And, there's another instance where the two are combined. There still is. It still exists on the internet. I think it's called megabiz.net, if I'm not mistaken, and it's for manliness. It's to improve your testosterone production, and they have a little copper pipe and a little zinc rod and some rubber tubing that creates a ring out of it, and they face opposite each other, and you're supposed to put that around your testicles. Not for women, obviously. Although I suppose you could shove them up your vagina, but whatever. And that creates a galvanic response, namely a voltage difference between the two, so that there's a mild current between them going through the balls. But you also get absorption through the skin of a few atoms of zinc and copper, which are also meant to help improve testosterone production. So that's a little tidbit side thing about copper and zinc working together. Let's see what else. But in terms of coinage, the coinage metals, traditionally, when you coin metals, it's like ancient, anybody who studies numismatics, namely the coinage of metals, copper is considered the base. And Rome went a little further, debasing their currency eventually when inflation was really bad and they wanted to pay for their debts, their national debts, by deflating the value of the currency. So they went to iron coins. It's very cheap. You can mint coins, put the same face value on there, but oh boy, is it cheap to mint. It saves you a lot of money because you're not putting real value in people's hands anymore. You're putting less value into people's hands. So copper is usually considered a low denomination because of its value is less than silver, and silver is less than gold. But it's really related to vibrational effect on the physiology. And it could be why the Nazis went crazy. They took the refinement of gold to great heights. They created something called white gold, and from what I recall reading 10 years ago, and they went nuts because gold actually enhances psychic development. I'm finding that it's actually stirs up the kundalini, which I don't mind. That's okay. A little kundalini is good once in a while, in moderation, not to overindulge. So I'm not sure what copper does. Silver, of course, boosts the immune system. So I'm just going to have to find out what copper does. Sorry. When I eat, I usually get a bad cough afterwards. I usually am supposed to take cayenne pepper, but I chose not to this time. I took ginger instead, which doesn't do my cough very much good. At least the ginger warms me up. What else? So I wanted to add this little tidbit of information at the tail end of this short series of videos. I did other videos that I did not yet include in this playlist. Maybe I should, when I was first discovering the value of gold. But we do have to look at it holistically. it's not enough to say, oh, wow, gold, woo, cool. We should also consider silver and copper, and of course the use of zinc has to go with copper. That's a nutritional viewpoint. Zinc, oh, but see, zinc is used in our coinage, right? We clad a lot of our coins with zinc. Or in the case of, I think, pennies, zinc is on the inside and copper is clad on the outside, so it's not even pure copper anymore. But nickels and dimes and quarters are zinc, if I'm not mistaken. I believe in Europe some country is using aluminum. It might be England or it might be one of the other countries, I can't remember, for their coinage. That's when you really got to go cheap, cheaper than iron. Woohoo! Who has inflation? Just inspect their coinage. And how severe is it? Okay, that's enough.